Hello, everybody. Lion here, and we've been getting some more questions about the fan interview slash AMA coming up this Friday, and that is going on right now as far as submitting questions. And I thought a fun way to answer would be to just kind of show you what it will look like while answering these questions. So, what I will be doing is posting the questions as they're asked or as I'm going through without looking ahead. And I'll put them on the screen like this. So, first question I've gotten a lot is how is this different from a normal interview? So, in a normal interview, whether it's in a newspaper or just some other written format or in a podcast, there's usually an interviewer that is asking questions that they come up with, usually someone that doesn't even know the band that well. And then they're editing what the responses are. So sometimes it comes off accurately reflected, but most times it's pretty choppy and doesn't really let the artist's voice speak through. So what's different about this is you guys are the ones who are asking the questions to me or to the band about the band. So it's your questions and you're submitting them and then I'm answering them on the spot without, looking ahead or thinking about them. So that's what's different about this. The other thing is it's an AMA, which is an Ask Me Anything, meaning you can submit these anonymously and you can ask stuff that normally wouldn't be covered in an interview. I want you to do this. So I want you to ask things like, um, why don't you guys play shows anymore? Like, what's the point of being in a band if you don't play shows? Or are you guys even really a band? Like, who's all in the band? It seems like sometimes some people are and some people aren't. Stuff like that. I want to talk about those things with you guys if you're curious about them. So that's what's kind of different. Another question we've been getting is what made you want to do a fan interview or AMA? Kind of like I said, we've done different interviews, but the format, it just never really, they're cool and we appreciate every interview, but it doesn't always come off as the way we had hoped because it gets edited and chopped up. So this is unedited, um, unscripted, just off the cusp. And you guys are a pretty creative bunch, our fans and friends. So I'm excited to see what you guys come up with and answer some different stuff than we have over the years. Um, the reason that I want to do an AMA is I've always found that concept interesting. Like, usually it's reserved for unique circumstances. Like, I fell from the sky, my parachute didn't open, but I survived. Ask me anything. We're not that unique, but it does still allow for any questions from people that are fans of us, people that kind of are fans but are disgruntled or critics of something we've done. Hopefully, we don't have a lot of that, but I thought that would be pretty interesting to do it that way. The other thing is, I've paid money, so this is kind of like getting into things you would normally talk about in an interview, but I'm going to be honest. I've paid money to go ahead to see what some of my favorite bands do, like a Q&A, and I just felt like it was kind of underwhelming. I remember even asking one of my favorite bands, Thrice, basically how they got back together after taking a hiatus later in their life. And I was looking for inspiration because I needed that with the band at this time. And Dustin, their singer, who I love, my favorite lyricist of all time, he kind of got snarky with me in front of a crowd live. And I just felt like, man, he took that the wrong way. And I just felt like we couldn't really ask the things we wanted to know. They just wanted questions like, what's your favorite place to go for barbecue? I don't know. So I felt like, man, let your fans ask you things that are interesting. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this. Who is this for? This is for anybody who enjoys our music, anyone who's our friend that doesn't really know our music, but has always wanted to know what it's like to be in a band. Anyone who's thinking of getting into music. It's even for maybe other musicians in the scene that don't know us that well that wonder why we do things a certain way or don't. Or it's really for anybody. That's the whole point. And to make people feel comfortable that so that they can ask what they want. That's why things can be submitted anonymously. So really, for anybody that's interested in this at all, a couple more questions. How can I partake? So you can partake by checking out our posts. I always include the link. There's a Google form. It will take you to an anonymous entry where you can type in your questions and they come to us. I'm not looking at them ahead of time, but if you submit questions, I'm going in order that I received them and going through whichever ones we have time to answer um, in this session. So there's a good chance it'll get answered. Depending how many questions we get, it may not get answered. Um, or if it's super, super personal to where I don't want to put it out in a recording later, um, I might choose not to answer that on the recording. But that's how you can submit questions ahead of time. Now, if you are a Bomb Squad member, which is our $5 a month through our website subscription, you get a lot of cool stuff with that. But you can actually get a secret link to attend the live stream and be with me, live while I answer these questions. And you can submit questions like follow-up questions or on the spot questions you think of and kind of cut the line. So again, that's only $5 a month to join. www.tropicbombs.com/bomb squad. So that is another way you can partake. You will actually be there live. Or if you're Bomb Squad and you can't make it, you can still submit questions ahead of time. But you won't be on camera. You will be watching through like a private YouTube link. So don't worry about your face or anything like that. You just type your questions in the chat and I'll answer them. All right. What else makes it special for Bomb Squad members? Well, I'm not going to give away the details, but by the way, another reason I wanted to do this was because I do try to find fun and unique things to do for the Bomb Squad members. There's a lot of cool stuff we've done, but I wanted to do something as we haven't done something really in a while like this. So what makes it extra special is not only that you can kind of cut the line and ask your questions on the spot, and it's like a hangout session. There'll also be some special surprises only for Bomb Squad members, and those are things that won't be included in the recording afterwards. So anyone publicly can watch the recording afterwards, but the only thing I'm gonna edit is I'm gonna take out the Bomb Squad only thing. So maybe there's some special guests, wink, wink, or some other information that won't be public. And any super, super juicy questions, I promise I'll stay afterwards off the recording and answer those for the Bomb Squad. All right. And you'll probably walk away with something if you're an attendee that's a Bomb Squad member. Last question. What other benefits are there to joining the Bomb Squad? I mean, I've said this in other videos, but so many things. I mean, when we do shows, which is rare, free entry, free guaranteed guest list slot. When we did our last vinyls, if you bought a vinyl, you got the other variant for free. All sorts of stuff. And it's listed on our website, but we try to do extra special things. I really think it pays for itself in experiences, and it helps us quite a bit. So tons and tons of stuff, background, behind the scenes videos that no one else has access to, private invitations to events, things like that, giveaways. $5 a month, you really can't beat it. So anyway, guys, this is kind of the format it's going to be running in. The only difference is right now it's just me talking. You're not seeing anybody chatting and asking questions, which you would be if you were watching live stream, or if you watched it afterwards, you'd see the questions as they come in. And then, of course, if there's any other special guests, they'll show up on the screen like I'm interviewing them. So hope you guys can tune in or partake, and hope you find this to be a neat idea. I'll talk to you guys soon. Please submit your questions by Friday, because this is happening this Friday the 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, if you're in the Bomb Squad, keep an eye out for that secret link. Peace, guys.